Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage YouTube channel. I am creating a video for the next step in my journey to restore the Pfaff model number 6. And I am looking at something I don't think I've seen before. The Pfaffs I have worked on before, I don't know if they had this specific setup. If they did, I don't recall. There are very few Pfaffs that I've worked on. And so I thought I would kind of bring you along with me if you care to watch, and we will discover together how this system of the bobbin case, the hook, and the race cover come off. And how much do we need to take off? This machine is based, let me rephrase that. This machine's bobbin system is based on the Singer Class 15. It's called that because Singer invented it. Now, Singer, like other companies, would have had patents on things when they were designed, but a lot of the Singer designs go way back, and eventually the patent would run out. And although I have expressed or explained before how many brands, including Pfaff, would copy the dimensions of the bed that Singer had, the only other thing that I'm aware of that it shares with Singer is the standard of the bobbin system. So I want to be careful. I'm not suggesting that Pfaff just went and copied all of Singer. Pfaff has its own designs, and they have their own strengths and weaknesses, as every machine does. So let's take a look at this. In early Singer 15 machines, and I mean early as in late 1800s, early 1900s, I'll have to check my dates to be sure. Originally, you had to undo a number of bolts to take the race off. It was kind of an involved thing. It wasn't hard, just took a little more time than some of the later versions of the 15, especially with the Japanese clones. They would have very clever little, I call them flippers, but they're basically little clasps that hold the race cover in, very convenient to use. And it's not good or bad, it's just a different design. So what I see here when we're looking at this, I see my bobbin case. Now, bobbin cases should be, and I believe, let's just try this, I'm going to pull on there, and sure enough, it comes right out. The bobbin case, again, is a Class 15 bobbin case. I believe this to be the original. And the bobbin case is very often removable without removing anything else, because obviously the sewer would have had to remove it on a routine basis to reload it once the thread ran out. And when, oh, well, that's interesting. This is not something you normally see. It's also a good time to remind you all, never assume that the correct bobbin is in the machine. I don't know if any of you can tell, but when I take this out, this is a Class 66 bobbin, or a top-loading bobbin. This is not the original bobbin that went with this machine. It would have been a Class 15. Now, the prior owner of this machine also owned a Singer 185, and those of you who know that machine, similar to the Singer 99, the Singer 66, it is a top-loading machine. I suspect that the prior owner probably just, maybe the last time they used the Pfaff, they said, well, I don't have any Pfaff bobbins, I'll go up and grab a Singer bobbin. And I don't know if it worked for them or not. I do not recommend using this. You want to use the original bobbin that the machine came with. But in fact, if you look here, you've seen I've made earlier videos before on, or I made a video recently on a bobbin and talking to you about different colored threads. And if your bobbin keeps running out of thread too soon, it's probably because, like this bobbin, you can see me pulling it, right? You can see that it has more than one color thread, because this was used as sewing machines were often used for mending, and not just for full-on sewing, but for mending different things. So I keep pulling here, and I have no idea how far this black, there we go. See, so the black thread, I've pulled that off. I don't know if the rest of the thread here is going to be green all the way through, or if in fact it was used for more mending, but I can't see any other threads right now, so we'll just leave the green thread on there for the moment. It's fairly heavyweight thread. So back to the matter at hand. What do we see? I see two bolts. One of the things you always want to be aware of is you want to try to imagine, okay, there are lots of bolts and lots of hardware under a machine. Some of it is meant to be taken off and some of it is not. So let's take a look here. The first thing I see is a wing nut, which I'm not used to seeing underneath a sewing machine. So how about that? So I'll just turn this wing nut here and we'll see how that goes. And by the way, the reason I'm doing this, I don't see any flipper latches to undo. My hook is here. My hook should come out because obviously I want to inspect it. I want to clean it. So I'm going to turn this little wing nut, hopefully without dropping it onto the floor. It's one of my great talents is dropping things. So there we go. There's the wing nut, and this is not one of those cheap, crappy wing nuts you sometimes see. This is like beautiful steel. And now here's the bolt that the wing nut came off of, and then I see a screw here. Now I see screws or bolts here, but there's a break. If you look closely, you will see there's a break here in this piece. This piece comes around. I don't know where it's going to, but it breaks here. When I see a break, that tells me, maybe this is designed to come off separately, right? Or it wouldn't be a break. It would be one big ring. So let's see if that wants to come off. You never know until you try. Oh, okay, that didn't give me much resistance at all. I don't know if it was loose, but in any case, it's not fighting me. Maybe it had oil worked in it. And it even has a nice metal washer. Be careful when you take things off, especially the first time when you're getting to know a machine. When you take a bolt off, look for this. Make sure you look to see if there are washers. Sometimes there are not. Sometimes there were, and they've long since gone. Sometimes they were rubber or plastic washers and they've degraded, they crumble. In this particular, this is a very flat, thin steel washer. Okay, well, I'm just going to leave it on the bolt there. Best place for it at the moment. Okay, now what do we got? This, how does this come off? So I'm trying to come behind it. What have I got going here? Okay, when you're trying to figure out how something comes off, you're not going to know. I mean, honest to God, I don't remember ever seeing this kind of setup before, but so what? So if we've taken those two things off, let's see if we can move it. I can't move it really side to side, so let's move it up and down. Oh, there we go. And sure enough, it releases. Now, that's a very curious shape. Look at that. Have any of you ever seen one like this? I have not. If you have a Pfaff number 6, I'm sure you have if you've ever taken it apart. Oh, that's a lovely, lovely piece of steel. I don't see any corrosion like I do on the pulley of the motor. All right, okay, we'll set that down. Now what do we have? Now here, this is the hook, obviously. I'm gonna see if I can get it to come off. Sometimes you have to turn the shuttle because remember, if this is based on the 15, the vast majority of Singer 15s are oscillating hooks. And sure enough, I was able to get the hook out. That's great. So I'm not aware. It looks like these two bolts may come out and this whole piece can come out, but I don't know of any reason for me to take it out. I don't have one because I got what I wanted, which is the hook. Now, look at this. When I I'm pulling, you can't see this, but my hand is pulling the hand wheel forward. And as I do, we see, look at that. And you can see that the shuttle is going back and forth, back and forth. That's an oscillating shuttle. And thus the hook, because the hook moves the way the shuttle does. And there's the hook. This hook, some of you have vintage machines will recognize it looks very much like a 15 class shuttle hook, yeah. And it doesn't seem particularly dirty. Like I said, I've told all of you, I have a hunch this machine was not loved. By that, I don't mean it was not well taken care of. I just don't think they sewed on it very much. And I'm not sure why. But in any case, that's what I see. All right, I don't see. I want to investigate, make sure I don't see any thread hanging. Remember, you can often get thread jams in this area of a machine. I should say often. You can get it on any machine. Doesn't have to be a Pfaff. And so this is a good time to inspect that. That's something I do with these machines. Every machine I get, I do that with. Get my headband mounted flashlight, get us a little more light there. Yeah, I'm looking and I really don't see any thread at all. I took a vacuum and just vacuumed out what few cobwebs were here. Not much to see here, except this little label which says, guaranteed by Good Housekeeping. Good Housekeeping is, I don't know if any of you recognize Good Housekeeping as a brand. It was, I believe it is now a blog or a video blog, but it's been around a long time. I don't know if it was around before Consumers Union, what most people call Consumer Reports, but it was Good Housekeeping, I think, was a magazine at one time. Anyway, it was sort of, if you got the Good Housekeeping seal of approval, it was supposed to help, I guess. Anyway, I believe they do their own testing of different products. So there you go. That is the removal of the hook of a Pfaff number 6. That is different than anyone I can remember doing. If you've seen me do this on another machine, please tell me. I've had so many videos now. The older videos I have to go back and watch myself because I can't remember. After hundreds of videos, it gets a little strange trying to remember. Now, we basically have a clean, not as in washed, but clean of dust, clean as far as I can tell of any thread nests, and that again is a part of the journey of restoring this machine. But I like to, as I'm going through especially something new, something I don't remember showing, I like to do this because some of you may have this machine for the first time and you're thinking, how the heck do I get this out of here? So we all learn together. I really appreciate you all watching, and stay tuned for the next video installment, whatever that may be, as I go through looking to bring this Pfaff back to life or to wake it up after a very long, what I think is probably decades long slumber. Thanks for watching, everyone.